We're live. Back after 15 minutes of technical difficulties. We are here. Bobby Davidowitz, the Alliance Group, eXp Realty, new agent trainer, TDP Group. What else do we got going on?
Well, let's see if somebody will comment and see how they're hearing us.
Yeah. And he's gone. We're still live, man. This is just awesome. Let's see if Bobby can get back in.
Yeah. Frustrating, right?
We're still live. I just figured we'll see if you can get back in.
I can hear you. Okay, people can hear us. They're commenting, so that's good. Okay, so we're still live. We're still live right now, so this is good.
Yeah, this is good. We'll keep it going.
I'm going to blame it on my internet connection right now, and the fact that it's apparently 105 degrees, and my computer's been in my car all day long. So hopefully it stays on for the rest of the for the broadcast. People say they can hear us, so let's roll with it. So
we'll do a take one, take two, and that's going to be session one of the new agent training. Hopefully there's no session two. So, yeah. Bobby, thanks for doing this for me. Appreciate it. We're just getting our new page launched to Agents Who Win. We want everyone in this business coming in to win and succeed. I'm Todd Schroth, eXp Realty, one of your veteran in the real estate industry, and looking at just trying to help out everyone we can, whether you're new, seasoned, legend, whatever you are in this business. We want to see how we can get everyone to collaborate. Bobby, so I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I wanted to just tell me a little bit more about what yourself, what you kind of have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just, privileged to be a partner with Todd in eXp. And, I think that, one of the unsaid things, Todd, that we get to take advantage of is just kind of combining great minds. And what's been cool is I've been working with Todd now for months, and, we both see the value in developing agents. And so, what we're doing now is, over past, 4 years, we've built, back when we were, a franchise, before we had built something called the Talent Development Program. And I became the director of that. And basically my job was to take somebody who was a new agent and develop them into a producer. And it was funny back then because, very few people wanted to do that, Todd. When I met my partner, Gil, I thought it was so interesting that he was one of the few brokers at the time that actually saw the value in developing people, and taking people who, some brokers would say, hey, I don't got the time, I don't got the energy to train them. And he was just like, no, I love those people. I love taking people. I love seeing them grow. And so we built this program over the past 4 years, and it's been pretty successful for us. And then obviously, as we kept developing that program and coaching agents, and then we found the eXp model, we thought, man, this is just such an incredible system to have, especially in a model like this, because when people know that they've got support, they know they've got coaching, and they know they've got people behind them that are committed to seeing them win, then, it just fits so well with the model. So, I'm still the director of the program, but we've actually got now about 5 or 6 certified coaches that, I've trained personally, and people have gone through our program and now are assisting agents coming in into our team. So, that's what we got going on. Obviously, I still do a little production here and there, but just excited to be building a huge organization with talented people, energetic people, passionate people. Obviously, our partner, Veronica Figueroa, Gil Ramos, Carlos German, and all the rest of the crew, Josue Soto, Rebecca Soto. And it's just cool to be a part of this mastermind, Todd.
Yeah, we've got a huge group out there, which is awesome. I'm glad we were able to collaborate with everyone and kind of bring everyone together under one umbrella. That's also what brought you guys to one of the larger exit realty brokerages around here, when you guys were with that franchise, because most of them are not 100 agents, and that's a big thing. What a new agent coming out, I've spent 40 hours in class, wasted a couple of weekends, got my test. How do I find out about you guys and the program itself?
Well, what's cool about us is, we want to connect with you first, right? So what we always say, we kind of open up our calendar to everyone. So, for instance, just this week, we have something called the Alliance Boot Camp, which is a very intensive 3-day boot camp we do for all the new agents coming in. And, before we used to only do that for the agents coming into our franchise. And now with, the energy behind the EXP model, we want people to experience what we have. So, the best way for you to know what we're like is to come experience it. And, there's no charge for that. It's just showing up. So we have usually baseline, Todd, we have about 13 coaching sessions, seminars going on every month. And, we teach everything from, I'll be teaching this month, for sale by owner strategy. We got somebody teaching about how to work with investors, and we're keeping the material fresh. So basically, if you want to find out more, just ask one of us, and we'll invite you to whatever we've got coming up next. I mean, we teach every Tuesday, every Thursday from 10 to 12. And it's either myself, my business partner, Gil Ramos, who's, was the former #1 exit realty broker in the state of Florida, runs many successful real estate teams. So we even do classes on how to run your own team. I mean, that's something obviously you've done very successfully, Todd, but at this point, we're an open book. We're just like, look, come in. If you like our energy, if you like our passion, if you like our culture, if you're getting value from it, then we feel like people will want to become a part of it. And if not, that's okay too. We just want to make great connections with great people.
So the boot camp, you guys have those at the end of every month, which is really cool. And I know you guys really converted quickly when COVID hit, because you have your inspiration hall at the downtown office, which is kind of cool. You've got it set up, and then all of a sudden, COVID hits, we can't go to the class anymore, so now we're online. So it's like a virtual and an in-office and in office. Are you guys still doing the virtual while you're doing the in-office ones?
Yeah, so for the boot camp, we really like to make that special live. So now we are back doing them.
I didn't like you. I just kicked you out.
Sorry, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
So, we're still obviously with the COVID, we suspended the live. But now we are doing it back live. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen here in the future, but we'd like to keep doing them live. So as far as the boot camp is concerned, which once again is a very intensive 3-day boot camp that we do, we like to do it live because it's a very special event where we really get to know you really well. And we haven't actually opened that up digitally to the public, but all of our other classes we do. So now we're actually, when I do a class now, I'm doing it live. And then I'm doing it on Zoom, so anybody anywhere can join. And then we also do it in our own private Facebook group, Todd. So we have, when you join our crew, we have a great, private group where we share all sorts of best practices and resources, and we use the power of the entire group to answer each other's questions and things like that. So I'm actually doing it on 3 formats: live, Zoom, Facebook Live, when it comes to the classes now.
I can only imagine the trouble you go through with just like this simple little Zoom we're doing, or StreamYard, just the logging in and out, and obviously it's a different scenario.
Yeah, and we've been having issues with this today, and it's like now it's like I don't even trust me, like when we first started doing this, I used to get so stressed out when this live used to go out, or whatever the case may be, and I'm just like, now these days I'm like, it's par for the course, because what happens is too, at this time, at some certain times of day, there's so many people on StreamYard and things like that it kind of gets interrupted. But at the end of the day, in general, people really have appreciated the fact that we've kind of opened things up and we've done our best to go digital, and we'll continue to do that. It actually has been a blessing for us. We're able to reach way more people this way, and it's opened up some things for us.
No, I love that, because we're, right now we're getting ready to expand our business into North Volusia County, and we're going to want to be able to provide some training, and they're not going to want to come downtown or to Altamont or to East Orlando. So if we can provide the stuff digital with them where they can be engaged with us, and it's not in the world, but it's, we can see each other is the biggest thing, because you can see the energy. I was at my first listening appointment last night that I actually had to have a mask on with the client, was concerned with that. And at the normal appointments, we're keeping our distance, but they wanted a mask on. It was so hard to read them and then read myself. So the energy level was a lot different. Of course, we got the listing because we're good at what we do, but it's normally you can win the listing through energy, and that was hard to do that, and you can't do that when you're not seeing people face to face. So I like what you said with the boot camp. You want to be there and engage with them and stuff. What is the day 1, day 2, day 3 consist on your boot camps?
Yeah, so when it comes to boot camp, we kind of run it on 3 concepts. So we feel like there's 3 ways for an agent to get a client, and there's just 3 simple steps. And everything that Gil and I do is really about simplifying the process. I think we overcomplicate what it takes, right? So the 3 steps and the 3 days are based on 1, connect, 2, cultivate, and 3, close. So the first day we talk about connection. And what I say is, Todd, is, our product really isn't real estate, it's people. And so we're really talking about building relationships with people. And first you have to connect with them. And what happens is with a lot of agents, Todd, is that, and as you know this, is that they're waiting to be perfect before they make a connection or start talking to people, And the reality is that, we're going to coach people throughout the process. We're going to make sure that they serve their client to the fullest. But if you're so scared to connect with the person because you want to be perfect, you're going to have a tough time starting in this business because, as you know, it's a 100% commission business. You're not getting a paycheck every week. So, our job is first to connect with an agent. So day 1, Gil just talks about how to connect with people. Some people will tell you things, Todd, like, "Oh, I don't know people." Really? And then Gil goes through like a memory jogger thing where he's like, "Okay, who cuts your hair? Who's the highest energy person who's the funniest person and just start doing that, and people start building a list of people that are like, "Oh wow, you know what? I do know actually a ton of people that I could connect with," because once again, Todd, we're very lucky. If you're thinking about getting into real estate, guys, the reason I'm gonna tell you the number 1 reason why real estate is one of the best industries to be in is because everybody needs a place to live. And it's a product that everybody needs. So that's why I say your product isn't really real estate, it's people, because at some point that person's going to buy or sell a property, right? Sure. It's just part of the program. So that's day 1. It's just connecting with people. Day 2 is cultivation. That's the day that I teach all day. And I really talk about what I think is actually the hardest part. So, my business partner, Gil, he's a hard charging, driven, high D personality, right? And he thinks that being a closer is like the hardest thing. Well, I disagree. I think being a cultivator is the hardest thing, right? Actually cultivating a relationship. And to be honest with you, if you don't really know what I mean by cultivation, it actually just means caring about people, right? Just asking people their story, getting to know what their goals are, getting to know what they're passionate about and things like that, because that's going to help you serve them the best. Oftentimes people don't know until you ask them what they truly want. And once you get to know a person and cultivate a relationship, you're able to add more value to them, right? And so the second day is all about cultivation, but I do it all through teaching them the mechanics, right? I go through an entire buyer's journey, from doing a buyer's consultation to writing a winning contract. And I do the entire seller's journey from preparing for a listing presentation to going through a listing presentation and then what to do after to get their property sold. And then the third day is the close day, but really we spend a large part of it actually where Gil goes through personality profiling, which is one of the funnest days, like just getting to know who you are, right? Personality profile style. And we're big Tony Robbins followers, so we use the DISC personality profile, and then just knowing who you're talking to. Because Todd, how many times have you talked to somebody? It's like you trying to impose your style onto somebody else often doesn't work, right? So if somebody's like a get to the point person, and you're trying to keep them on the phone or send them a long email, they go ghost on you because you're not communicating to them in the way they like to communicate. So that's the third day. We do a lot of personality profiling, but it's really about closing, but not closing in like the hardcore, like boiler room type of way, because we believe that if you connect and cultivate and do it properly, the close just happens, right? It just happens. And you've experienced that yourself in the business, haven't you, Todd?
You are always trying to mirror the client. And I think that's my biggest part of the success is that if you can connect with them through mirroring, that's worked for me. I don't follow DISC. I don't understand DISC, and I need to get into one of that third day so I can understand that and get on the same level as you guys. But yeah, if you can mirror them and get into that engagement with them, it's going to work. And I've got some that want to get deep into like just explain this in full, this one paragraph of the listing contract in full detail. The rest of it they don't care about. Some are just, hey, let's get moving. We want to get the house in the market. I don't care what needs to be done, Others do ask too many, a lot more questions, and that's you got to learn how to take each one.
Exactly right. And you pick it up naturally, but what's cool about disc is like you actually are able to just hone in on the signals, because some people really just try to impose their style, and you get it, when you're talking, hey, this person doesn't want to hear this whole thing, but some a new agent might be like, no, but I have to take you through this half an hour presentation. Like, no, they're ready right now, so.
Now, the listing presentations could take anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. It depends on the client. Exactly. Even with a buyer consultation, it's like, what kind of house do you want? 4-bedroom, 2-bath, full home, 250. Cool. Let's get you set up. What neighborhood do you want to be in? Otherwise, it's like, let me explain the entire thing to you.
Exactly.
Process. Just follow the journey, and we'll get you through it. So That's awesome. That's what I want to kind of engage on is what's with the boot camp. And once you've gone through the boot camp, what's the next step for them once they've graduated?
So the boot camp, it all depends on when you join with us. So the boot camp, we usually do, depending on how many new agents we have, we'll do it every month or every other month, right? So the first step is everybody goes through a launch session with me. And by a launch session it's a session that they have with me. It's usually about an hour, and they come in and I give them a 30-day plan, and not just a plan for their business, but just a plan to onboard with EXP. Just like whenever you join any kind of company, no matter what industry you're in, you kind of have to understand how their system works. So they'll go through a launch session with me where I kind of go over our core values, the things we believe in, the kind of culture that we are. So right off the bat, they're understanding like who we are and what we're about, because I think that's so important. For you guys listening out there, look, me and Todd in our group might not be for you. That's okay. We really want to attract the kind of people that are part of our tribe, and I can tell you that in our group, we believe in personal development, right? We believe you have to build a person before you build a business. And this is going to be Todd. This is going to be true no matter, we frozen?
No, we're good.
Okay, we're good. It's going to be true no matter, what you do in life. So what I tell people is like, look, whether you decide to stay in real estate or not, it doesn't actually matter to me, because if I can build a person, you can take the skills that we build here anywhere you want to build it. So that's number one. Number two is coaching. We believe heavily in coaching. And coaching is a little bit different than training. Coaching is never ending, right? It's just there is no end to coaching. You're always going to want to coach. I pay for a coach. That's something that we believe in. And then the third is culture. And who we are, I always tell that funny story, Todd, of so I got to tell this story, Todd. I do. So what's cool about this is when we came into Orlando and we joined with a bunch of different groups. One of the groups was like Veronica Figueroa, obviously Carlos German, Jose Soto, and most of you might not know I'm actually Puerto Rican. I don't look it, but I am. And so we have a heavy Latin group. And then Todd comes in, and he's a tall gringo, right? He comes into the group, and I'll never forget this. So Veronica has this thing and tells Todd, hey, we're all going to meet at my house on a Saturday to mastermind on how we can like improve the agent experience and like do all this stuff. And we're going to meet at 11 a.m. Or even 10 a.m. I don't know what time it was. And then so we all show up like maybe around noon. He shows up like at 10 a.m. right on the money, right? Veronica's not even up. Like Veronica hasn't even like woken up. So Todd's like sitting in the living room by himself for like 2 hours. And he's like, guys, he's like, I thought it was at 10 a.m. And we're like, oh, you don't know how this works? I was like, when a Hispanic says 10 a.m., that doesn't mean 10 a.m. I'm like, it's like noon maybe, and it was just funny. But the cool thing is that we all have the same type of culture, which is like, we want to help people grow. We're excited about, people building their businesses, and we like to have fun. We're kind of a fun group. I always say we're fun and a little street. That's kind of our culture. Yeah. So, if you fit into that, Todd's probably the most proper, to be honest with you. Todd, we probably shocked Todd at the beginning, but there's a little bit of everything. We want to work with Todd's office, do it, because Todd's a crusher, by the way.
I'll be there at 10.
Yeah, he likes to actually. No, I take that back. When I first met Todd, it was in Key West.
Yes.
And I was very surprised that Todd likes 90s hip hop just as much as I like it. So I was very surprised about that.
Yo, Manila. That's awesome. So you guys have moving on to classes that start at 10 o'clock and end at 12.
Yeah, that's a real time, by the way.
Yeah, it is a real time. It's 10 a.m. So we've gone through the boot camp. We've graduated that. We've gotten our license. What are the some of the things you guys are highly concentrating on? For example, myself, I'm not someone that's going to pick up the phone and cold call for sale by owners, expireds, anything. My business has been built by Sphere. Do you give me a plan walking out of my nature that, knowing that I'm not a cold caller, where I'm not going to pick up the phone and call if this was an expired, so you're going to give me a direction I should go? Or is it, go try the for sale by owners? You might actually crush it on the phones. You're going to have to fail to win. But do you say go try that first, or it's like, hey, let's go try and help you develop that Sphere business by finding your 100 people that you don't know?
That's a great question. So first of all, I believe that everybody needs to build their sphere. Like, as a foundational thing, guys, building great relationships with people is going to be a way for you guys to have business your entire life. And as Todd does, you can do that.
And here we go. Technical difficulties. We'll get him back in 10, 9, 8, 7, eventually. There we go. He's coming in at stream. And we're there.
Oh, hey, we did good that time. We got that time. So like I said, the sphere of influence, Todd built his business on it. I built my business on it. And I think that everybody should have a foundation of that. I think a lot of people avoid that, Todd, because they think, well, I'm not really a social person, this and that. But as I explained to you, most people do have a sphere. They just never really reached out to them and done what we teach them, right? Connect, cultivate, and close, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to talk to you about getting your list organized and making sure that you're able to connect with the people and let them know what you're doing. Part of the reason you're not getting business right now is because you're what we call a secret agent. And we always teach, don't be a secret agent. You have to let people know what you're doing and build relationships. And you just do that by doing same thing we teach. You care about people. You ask them about what they're doing. You reach out to them. I mean, it could be as simple as catching up with some of the people you haven't caught up in a while. And because we have a product that everybody needs, Todd, they can reach out. And guess what? Even if they're not ready to do something right now, number one, they're going to be ready one day because everybody needs a home. And then number two is they're going to connect you with somebody that might need that. They might have a cousin that's ready to buy right now. They might have a cousin ready to sell, or whoever their friend is. So we always talk about sphere of influence. But as I speak to people on a personal level, same thing. I'm connecting with the agent. I'm saying, what's your story? What's their deal? Because I might find something in their story. I'm like, man, you would be really good for this. So for instance, I might look at them and say, hey, you might be great for one of our leads teams, and that might be the route to get them started quickly. Or they might come from an industry where they did hardcore sales, and I start talking to them about a for sale by owner strategy, and they're like, I got no problem making those calls. Like, all I did was call in my last job. I'm like, well, that's like free money, because 90% of for sale by owners are going to go with an agent at some point, and I'll teach them a strategy, which is, by the way, a value add strategy, not a blatant pitch yourself, please list with me strategy. I'm very big on letting not only agents but clients know that I'm here to add value first, and if you decide that you want to work with us in that second. So I definitely tailor it towards a person. But Todd, man, sphere of influence, man, you got to build it, and I can get you good at that, and it's not that hard once you get the rhythm of it. And after that, man, just the deals keep coming.
Well, that's what, how I built my business pretty much over the last 20 years is all Sphere. And, it's got, as you grow, your Sphere grows. I mean, I just had my last 4 transactions last month were friends from high school. So it's all, and I mean, we've been out 25 years plus. So it's staying in touch with people. And I don't throw real estate up on them. I barely post on my page anymore about successful closings yet. And every closing is successful because if it closes, it's successful. It's a matter of just being out there, engaged, and putting stuff out. I need to get better myself at posting on social media about all of our stuff we have going on. but I'm not out there like screaming it to the world that, hey, we're in sales, we're real estate, etc. It's because I keep doing the same thing over and over again and staying in touch with them, without real estate, and that keeps them going. So that's been a big for us. And now we're trying to find with the team, okay, who can do the FSBOs and expireds, who can do the internet leads, who can do the open houses, and now we can kind of branch out, because there's a lot of opportunities that are out there that we all want to be part of, and I can help, give some gauge on that. So
yeah, absolutely. I actually went on a listing appointment yesterday. Literally a guy, Todd, that lived I was selling a condo in downtown. I was listing it, and I was doing open houses. So I believe heavily in open houses. It's still one of the best ways to get business, one of the best ways to show your client that you're working for them and help them sell the home. And literally, I met this guy it was a condo complex, and I was going around every single floor, and I was putting a little flyer. So there was like this much of a space under the door, Todd, so I could slip flyers on every single door in the condo complex, and that's how I would market my open house. So sure enough, the guy on the same floor comes by. I meet him, and he's like, well, I might sell one day. He's like, would you like to take a look at my unit? And I'm like, sure. After the open house, I'll walk over, take a look. Built a relationship with the guy. Didn't want to sell right now, but, I just, built a relationship, and then I kept him on my sphere of influence list. And right. I always connect with him one way. I literally have not talked to this guy in 4 years. Emails me 2 days ago and says, hey, I'm thinking about selling the other unit I have in the building. Can you come meet with me? And I'm like, man, I haven't talked to this guy in 4 years, but he remembered because he gets my value add stuff that I set out. Like, right. That's what I tell too with agents. It's not about selling. It's just like, once people know you're in real estate, it's just kind of about staying in their face and giving them value add stuff from here to there. So like, I don't go out pitching to them. I just let them know, hey, just a reminder, I'm here to add value and always be a resource too. I tell people, hey, whether you work with me or anybody, I'm here to help. Right. If you want me to review a contract or something, I want to make sure you're protected. And I think that if you come from a heart of service like that, you're going to always have clients.
And that's, it's funny. One of my most recent listings was a house that we did some expired marketing in about 2011 and 12 when we started breaking into some other stuff. And it was all direct mail. And we listed this house and put it on the market. 5 days later, they decided they didn't want to sell. Our listing agreement is zero cancellation. You're not happy, you want to make a change of life, we'll take it off the market. We're not in to charge you $500 or $5,000 for a cancellation fee. What happens 8 years later, they called me back. And they kept the letter, kept the card, and they had it sitting on the table when we connected. I think a month ago when we sat down to get it going again. And so it was just, you have that. It's like they remember you because of doing stuff like that. You need help, I'm there for you. I'm not here trying to charge you by the hour. I'm here to help you with any scenario that you have, and they're going to remember that. And that's been big for us as well.
That's huge. Yeah.
So it's like when I put my marketing in for this year, I don't know, do I check that as repeat business or do I check that as, expired marketing? Because it is a repeat client. It's just the same house.
It is. It absolutely is.
You track it. So I think you've answered a lot of my questions. I just wanted to kind of go over what you guys have going on. Talked about the boot camp, talked about niches. And I love the fact the first of every month we get in our calendar what classes are out there. So, I love sharing that stuff back. You got someone with a mask coming up to your window. Better watch.
They're coming to attack me.
Yeah, they're gonna blow COVID on you. So, and if you guys have any questions, reach out to Bobby or I. We'd love to connect and definitely get you some more information on the training that's there. If you're seasoned, even myself, I go to the classes sometimes and always walk out with some new information I can use myself or bring back to my team. So it's definitely worth going and kind of hearing what Bobby and Gil and some of the other trainers that have to say there.
And one more thing I want to throw out there too. Obviously a lot of you guys out there have heard of the EXP model, and it's I explain it a little bit different than a lot of people because I really just feel like it's the best platform to run your business on. But I will be doing a class in July. I call it EXP Curious, right? For some people who are out there who are like, man, I keep hearing about this thing and I don't really understand it, which don't worry, a lot of people don't. Most people don't. Even some people in EXP don't truly get the power of the model.
Right.
So if anybody wants to join that, that would be a great class. And it's not a pitch or anything like that. I call it EXP Curious because it's almost like a definition for somebody who like is curious about it because they've heard about it, but doesn't want to be pitched or whatever the case may be. Because I think that's the main downfall with some of the people that are EXPs. They really push this on folks, and then they get a little bit like, okay, I don't want to hear about this stuff, and that's not really the way to do it. You know, it's the same thing. First, you got to connect and cultivate and figure out what people's goals are. But if you guys want to attend that and just learn what the model is about, because there's a reason that, you know, Todd was one of the top Remax guys and decided to get in. There's a reason that Veronica was one of the top Remax people want to get in. There's a reason that my business partner Gail was a top exit broker in the state of Florida and got in. There's a reason. You know, you don't make big shifts like that unless there's a reason. And I think it'd be good for you to find out why, at least, just in case.
It's funny you kind of go into the brokerage stuff, because it is a cloud-based company and everything is in the cloud. There's the world that we all go to with our avatars to get into classes. Yet, what do we have? Brick and mortar. We want workspace, and if you want it, you go get it. And, you know, that's why I like your class. He just kicked off as our final few minutes. Let's see if we can get him back on. All right, we're saying our final goodbyes, and you left early.
No, that's fine. I'm good. You were talking anyway, so don't worry about me. I'll come back.
I love the fact that you know, we have the offices to go to and actually going to do some physical training, because some people want that. I mean, I like to go to an office every day. I want to get out of the house and do our thing. I mean, trust me, we tried to work at home in March and it wasn't good. You know, I had to get into the office when no one was here. It was nice to get away and actually do some things. But yeah, it's, you know, so if you want training online or in office, we've got it. It's available, you know, through our partnerships that we're able to provide this stuff. So cool, Bobby. I appreciate your time, and yeah, sorry guys for the technical difficulties, but it is the case of learning experiences with doing this stuff. So,
yeah. And if for some reason this doesn't come out the way we want it, Todd, let's do it again. I'll do it every week, man.
We'll do it. Perfect. Thanks, Bobby.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you. Bye.